What's up guys, since this week we can start focusing the Defiant weapons, I want to make a quick video showing off the fastest way to farm both all 8 of the Lightfall Neomuna weapons along with the new 6 Defiant weapons. So quickly jumping into the Neomuna weapons first, starting with the Terminal Overload. There's going to be 3 weapons tied to this. When it's in the park, it will be the shotgun. When it's in the concourse, it will be the machine gun. And when it's in the harbor, it will be the SMG. And every single time you open the overload chest with the overload key, you're guaranteed to get whichever one is in that load zone to drop. There's really no secret to farming these 3 weapons. If you're directly farming for it over like a long session and you don't want to run out of keys, make sure to take patrols, the kill and collect ones as you're doing the event. Most of them are very straightforward and will basically autocomplete as you're doing the event. And patrols have a pretty high chance of dropping overload keys, which then means you can open the chest and you should never run out. And after you open the 2 chests initially, what you can do is drive over to the closest load zone and drive back. And not the overload chest, but just like the roll drop one, you can open over and over again, and you can open it 3 times, including the first one, for every single time you beat the event. And that chest can drop not only all 8 of the Neomuna weapons, it can drop any loot from the road pool. So that is the only other way to farm for the 3 Terminal Overload weapons outside of just opening the chest. And that brings me to the other 5 Neomuna weapons, including the hand cannon, fusion, waveform GL, the sniper, and the pulse rifle. So for these, what you have to do to farm them the quickest is you want to load the Terminal Overload or the Harbor fast travel point. Either one works. I prefer the Terminal Overload. And the point of this is you're looking to farm the heroic patrols, or whatever they're called, the ones that are now like yellowish. And the fastest way to farm these is just to keep loading the instance over and over again to generate new patrols. And there's going to be 2 different versions, the kill one where you have to get 10 precision kills, or the VIP one where you have to go off to like a room and kill a few things. But when you do either one of them, you're guaranteed to get one of the 5 Neomuna weapons I showed off on that previous screen. And these can be red border, and once you get 5, you can then craft it. Then outside of doing that, as we mentioned before with the secondary Terminal Overload chest, it can drop any of the 8 Neomuna weapons, so that's a secondary way to farm for those. And now moving on to the Defiant weapons, since we can now finally directly focus them this week with the table upgrade. When you focus these, you need 4 of the Defiant Engrams along with Glimmer. So what is the most efficient way to get the Defiant Engrams? Well, you could just do like the basic way with the Defiant keys and do the Battleground playlist. And when we do that and open the chest, you'll get 2 engrams every single time. But those take quite a while, easily 10 plus minutes. So what are the other ways to get the Defiant Engrams? Well, from raid CPs and any activity completion in the game, you have a chance of getting the engrams. So what is the fastest activity you can complete in the game? Well, it's going to be the Shattered Throne boss CP. And if you have ever farmed a CP in this game, you probably know how to do this. You have one person hold the CP and drop the fire team in. Then they swap characters as you fly in and swap to someone else. Doesn't really matter, just to complete the activity and get the loot. But then they swap back to the character holding CP and drop you back in over and over again. And this CP is extremely fast. All you have to do is kill the 3 knights to collect the 3 buffs, then kill the wizard. And the best way to do this will be with the coil, because it can 2-shot the boss. Really, the hardest part is figuring out a way to kill the knights super efficiently, because there's no rally flag in these old activities. So you're going to have to rely on just spawning in with 2 coil. You want to save 1 for the boss, so you only have 1 for the knights. Then what we're doing is one person was on Void to debuff all 3 of the knights, while I was on Starfire Protocol to nade them. And as you see in this gameplay, we threw the Void Grenade, then I naded, coil naded one of the knights to instantly kill them, then finish them off with fusion if I need to. Then I turn to the middle one in fusion, and by then Alex has killed the far left one. So depending on what characters you're playing and who you're playing with, you gotta figure out what works best to kill the 3 knights, because the third person, the one holding the CP and dropping you guys in, basically if you're doing it correctly, will actually never play the game, and you're gonna kill the boss before they even load back in. But doing this, there is roughly a 50% chance of dropping the Defiant Engram upon completion. And we got it down to sub 80 seconds per run from kill to kill, which is a pretty high drop rate of these engrams, definitely way faster than doing the battlegrounds, and will allow you to farm the Defiant weapons as fast as possible. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the video. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.